22nd of July today. I made a recording a bit earlier, well at least I thought I did. I did this whole presentation thinking the camera was running, but it wasn't. So I'm back, fulfilling my obligations. The vaccines. On the 13th of November 1971, the day of my birth, Prabhupada had arrived back in India, and one of his personal assistants had forgotten his vaccination certificate. So he was isolated. He was put into quarantine for 10 days. 10. Bhagavan. When I look at the presentations that I've given and I send them off in batches, the last one I sent had 16 presentations in it. That's the Maha Mantra. The date range was from the 12th to the 21st. That's 1, 2, and then mirrored 2, 1. My Celtic Druidic name is Druid. It's mirrored. There's a term for them, I don't know what it's called. The concentration camp, colonization, the colony, the hive mentality, the cells, five-sided cells, the Pentagon, the beehive, the queen bee, the hive mentality, the cell phone. IBM was established to keep track of all of the prisoners in the concentration camps. IB Farben, BASF, all of those Nazi murderers were tried in the international courts, found guilty, sent away to South America or wherever they chose to go, and later came out of their sentencing, which was superficial. They all went to haciendas and formed international bodies like Codex Alimentarius, who is the governing body internationally on what we are and are not allowed to put in our mouths as slaves. Birth certificates, the banks, the canals, the flow of money, the enslavement of consciousness of humanity through the death box, the TV. I was speaking to John, the graveyard manager. Everyone knows what's going on. We need to acknowledge the provider of the experience. Our souls are safe. We are eternal. We need to keep this form of life, the human form of life. There's some very, very top knob people who are coming to the end of the duration of this body. In the past, we heard about wealthy families putting their corpses on ice, cryogenic freezing to preserve the body. Frankenstein to reanimate it when the technology was available. I'm sure they're all dusty by now, forgotten about. Canned projects. All of the big projects, even the Hadron Collider, subatomic accelerator, people aren't talking about it anymore. Social media. The US Senate came out and tried to make out like Facebook and YouTube were guilty of covering things up and omitting information. It's a sign that even the internet is now working against these genocidal maniacs, homicidal maniacs. They're even asking themselves, why is it all going so well? It doesn't make sense. It's because they're not the ones doing it. It's being provided. The whole framework for the shifting consciousness, the acknowledgement of our Creator, the model of Krishna, to fix our focus. It's not concentration. Concentration is a mental activity. It's focusing our attention. Consciousness flows where attention goes. We need to get out of the concentration camp mentality in front of these boxes of negative programming, chewing the chewed, eating the same vomit. IBM also bought shares in Apple computers, the iCloud, which for me at the moment is not behaving the way it should be in getting this information out. Apple Corp. The Beatles had a company, the umbrella company for the Beatles was called Apple Corp. In the beginning of the Krishna book, there's a little write-up by one of the members of the Beatles. There was an attempt made on his life, George Harrison. The attempt failed because he had actually, through Prabhupada's intervention, he had actually arrived at the personal feature. And then a little bit later, Yoko Ono's husband was assassinated. Bob Marley. You can fool some people sometimes. You can't fool all the people all the time. And now you see the light. We need to stand up for our rights. That's Lord Chaitanya's motto, civil disobedience movement. The Krishna conscious movement. It's civilized. It's not barbaric. It's just a calling out to our seed-giving Father, the soul, the Maha Mantra. No bloodshed. On the opposite polarity, it's all bloodshed. It's genocide. When Australia was colonized, it was a bloody mess. They were still dropping nuclear devices in this century on Aboriginal communities. That's genocide. And we in Australia think that we can just put some little footnote on a government document and that will reconcile everything. The reconciliation in South Africa, superficial, but at least it happened. It was an acknowledgement of our wrongs. It hasn't happened in Australia. 85% of Australia is owned by the Queen, Commonwealth. According to the documentary about John Hastings, the rightful heir to the throne of England, she's not even the Queen. Freddie Mercury, Queen. His songs, they don't come to mind now. He was enlightened. I want to break free. Oh Lord. God knows I want to break free. When we start looking at things through spiritualized eyes, it all emerges. The whole story. The where from, what to do now and the where to. It's all written into the Vedic literatures. Exactly what's going on now. It's right there. For anybody, it's in plain sight. Wulamban Mountain, the lying down form of Vishnu, Garboksai of Vishnu. Another local name for him is Nosy. It's happening right under our noses. What happens under the nose, the eyes don't see. It's the biggest deity on the planet. The caldera is 45 kilometers across. He's probably 22 kilometers big, lying down. In the navel of the universe, the volcanic caldera. It all ties in with the Vedic texts. It's all for the love of God. I know whose side I'm on. I know who my deity is. We need to focus on our Creator, not concentrate on the TV. It's polluting our consciousness. I'm still trying to get someone to talk with, because it's a lot easier for me when there's a recipient. Somehow I get it. That's how God feels. It's like there are lots of people who know a lot, but nobody actually knows God. I know God. I met him. That's not small. He's revealed as much as is needed to me to go forward. And it's not complicated. And I'm not perfect. And I'm small. And I'm not doing this for myself. I'm not selfish. I've got a lot to offer, to give. But it's complex. Unless I'm sharing it with someone, then it becomes easy. I spoke with John, the graveyard manager, this morning about extremely complex subject matters, about aliens and demigods. You know, all of these ancient sites that we have scattered all over the planet. Pyramids, temples of Jupiter, Baalbek stones. You know, inexplicable. Those were demigods, busy setting the framework for this phase of conscious evolution. We are extremely privileged human beings, because even demigods are under the modes of material nature. Very few of them are pure devotees. They're just doing their jobs, like us. Yet again, I would like to offer my gratitude, love and respect to Srila Prabhupada, who I'm with every day. I read the Bhagavad Gita every day, and it's unlocking and it's unpacking. And to Srila Narayan Maharaj, whose literature I've read mountains of. An extremely enlightened and advanced human being. And here comes John again, so I'm going to check out for now, but I'll be back. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Namaste. Checking out.